Hello, I'm Kevin Dunn, the CEO and founder of Decisely, and I'm here with Josh Berry today in the number 4 car to talk about our upcoming event in September at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And so, Josh, first, thank you very much for taking time to meet with us. Thought we'd just talk a little bit about the racing.
Yeah.
As you know, so how did you transition from grassroots to to NASCAR ultimately?
Well, it was a lengthy process. I originally started racing in Middle Tennessee as a kid. Raced there for a number of years, and ultimately got an opportunity with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in their late model program at Junior Motorsports and moved to North Carolina, and that was in 2010. So I spent upwards of a decade running short tracks all over the Carolinas and Virginias, won almost just under 100 late model stock features for Junior Motorsports, and eventually I was able to get an opportunity with Junior Motorsports through them to try to get in their Xfinity car, and won a Xfinity race at Martinsville early in that opportunity, and that kind of led to finding the partners and the pieces that we needed to get me to the Xfinity Series full time.
Yeah, that's a great story. It's just that relentless pursuit of excellence, and we believe in that in all of our entrepreneurs as well that we deal with. How do you prepare mentally for these? I mean, you've got upcoming, you're leaving for Daytona pretty soon here. How do you prepare mentally for these types of things?
Yeah, it's a balance. It's a balance of work and your personal life, your family, and the biggest thing that I've tried to manage over the course of this is you just try to keep your emotions as level as you can, right? There's going to be good races, there are going to be bad races, and just try to manage those the best you can to try to stay level-headed. And ultimately, I've had years of racing, when I race short tracks for the longest time, right? Like you have a good night or a bad night. On Monday, you're working on the car, getting ready to go to the next race, and sometimes that's the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, and how do you keep it up with mentally with your team? I mean, you've got a team of how many people that are working on that car?
Yeah, I mean, there's we're upwards of over 20 people that work specifically just on the 4 car, whether they travel or they're the pit crew, the shop mechanics. And, it takes great leaders, right? I think between, me as a driver, our crew chief, our car chief, our engineers, everybody, it's so important for everybody to be a good leader, to be honest, communicate well with each other, and just keep everybody pumped up, right? The NASCAR season is a 38-week grind, right? We have maybe, this year we had 2 off weekends throughout basically the whole season, and it's a grind, and you have to stay motivated, and you have to keep doing everything you can to keep everybody on the same page and happy.
You mentioned your family. I hear you've got 1 and maybe 2?
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old daughter named Mackenzie. She's been going to the racetrack since she was probably 6 months old, maybe not even that. So she's loved racing, grown up around racing already. She loves coming with us, and then I have another daughter coming in it's about a month. So we're gonna have 2 girls. It's exciting times for sure.
Yeah, I hear October is gonna be very busy for you
for sure,
and 6 months after that as well. So get your sleep now while you can.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you already said as your family travels with you most of the time and goes to most of the events with you?
Yeah, for the most part, I would say, probably 3/4 of them. They don't go to every single race. It just depends on the travel and different things going on, but it's nice. They enjoy it. My wife grew up around racing, and she spent, she was with me years of short track racing as well, so she's used to coming to the racetrack, and it's kind of just what we know as a family.
Yeah, the folks that I've gotten to know also is that they really appreciate that, because they said it's really a family atmosphere where the kids are around most of the time, and and sharing each other's campers and everything else. So that's a great opportunity for everyone. How do you it's kind of back to that team spirit is that how do you encourage, or how often do you meet with the team and kind of tell them what the game plan is? And
well, I think for me, we're around the team every week, right? At least a couple of days in the shop, and then obviously our time at the racetrack. Really, I think probably more of the communication to the team itself falls more on Rodney and Cheddar, just the direction of which way to go, how to build the cars, what they're working on. And for me, I think the best thing that I can try to do with those guys is to be accessible, right? To be around, to talk, and make myself available to those guys, go to dinner, have we obviously have meetings during the week, talking about our plans and what we want to do to get prepared. And really, that's all you can do, right? Is just try to make it as much of a, really like a family atmosphere, because really we are family, right? The 4 team is a family, because we spend really just as much time with each other as we do our own families at home, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's important to have a good culture, and the 4 team most definitely has that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's one of those where winning is great, but I've always found, at least in my career too, is that the F word always comes up, which is failure. And leading through those failure times, is really key. You feel that as well?
Yeah, I think, and really the best way to look about it, I think, is when you lose, you're still learning something. You're still getting better. And sometimes, the tough days are when you learn the most about yourself and about your team, and you also learn about what you need to do better, right? When you have a bad race, sometimes it's a reality of like, hey, we need to be better in this area. We need to be better here, and that's just part of professional racing and sports in general.
And how about physically? How do you physically take care of yourself and, meditate and those types of things? Like, what's the regiment on game day?
Yeah, that's something that it's constantly evolving, right? I think the biggest thing that I've found that works the best for me is to just make sure to stay, really to stretch a lot, make sure you feel loose. That helps in the race car, because we're strapped in for 4+ hours, right? Mm-hmm. And just making sure you don't have cramps, you're hydrated, and obviously flexible in case you're in an accident to prevent injury. And one of the best things I like doing is I use a sauna pretty often, just to train my body for the heat. And that seems to really help during the hot races.
Yeah, and you're going to be in a hot one this weekend.
Yes,
for sure. And so we're hoping September will be a little bit cooler in Atlanta, but no guarantees. Well, listen, Josh, I really appreciate the time you guys have taken. Your team's been incredible. Everyone from the video crew to the marketing team to all of the 4 cars. That you've created a heck of a culture, and we aim to emulate something like that. So really appreciate your time, and look forward to seeing you again in September.
Yep, we're looking forward to Atlanta.
All right. Thank you.